Hi, it's Doug Eisenberg, and in this video, I'm going to provide details from the current issue of GigaLaw's Domain Dispute Digest, a report that I started publishing in the first quarter of 2020. Today, I'm talking about data from the issue that has just been published for the third quarter of 2021. Amazingly, the headlines for the past 7 quarters, since I launched the digest, have largely been the same, because the number of domain name disputes, especially under the UDRP, the Uniform Domain Name Dispute Resolution Policy, continues to rise. Last quarter, the lead headline on the digest was that domain name disputes saw their busiest month on record, with WIPO reporting that more cyber squatting complaints have been filed in June 2021 than in any other month over the past 20 plus years. And the quarter before that, the digest reported that domain name disputes continued to soar, noting that complaints at WIPO and the forum rose almost 15% and more than 12% respectively. So now, at the end of the third quarter of 2021, the trend continues, and that's the headline in this newest report, that the number of domain name disputes keeps rising, although I also focus on the important lesson that trademark owners should never take the UDRP for granted. So you can see all of the statistics in the full 10-page report, which is available on my GigaLaw website at giga.law/digest. Here in this video, I'm not going to cover every bit of data from the report, but instead, I want to focus on some of the more interesting and important aspects from it, while also diving a little bit deeper into some issues that can't be fully explored in the confines of a written report. So at the outset, I suppose the most important thing, as I write in the digest, is that after only 3 quarters of the year, the number of cases filed at WIPO, which is the largest and most active of all of the domain name dispute providers, has already almost reached the level for the total number of cases in 2020. That's pretty phenomenal and says something both about the prolific amount of cyber squatting that exists, as well as the seriousness with which trademark owners are taking the issue and filing complaints under the UDRP and other domain name dispute policies. So in the third quarter of 2021, the digest shows that across the 5 active UDRP service providers, WIPO, the Forum, the Czech Arbitration Court, the Hong Kong International Arbitration Center, and the Canadian International Internet Dispute Resolution Center, there were 1,634 UDRP decisions that included 3,354 domain names. Now, that's a modest 1% increase in the number of decisions and an 8.9% increase in the number of domain names, since, of course, a single UDRP case can include multiple domain names if they're all held by the same registrant. Now, these percentage increases are a lot lower than in the previous quarter, when the number of UDRP cases jumped 13.8%, but any growth is still significant, especially given how long domain name dispute cases have been on the rise. In fact, in one of the charts I include in the digest, shows that the number of domain name disputes has been on the rise at WIPO for the past 8 years. And if the trend continues in the fourth quarter of 2021, not only will this be another record-setting year, but the spike in the number of cases could be as high as 20% for the entire year. So what explains this ongoing rise in cyber squatting cases filed by trademark owners? I think a few things, including the pandemic, which has given cyber squatters more motivation to seek profits and made consumers and employees greater targets as everyone spends more time online. Plus, although the UDRP is not new and has been around for more than 20 years, I think more trademark owners are becoming aware of it and just how effective it really is. As I discussed in the digest, I filed UDRP complaints in the past quarter for many types of cyber squatting activities that my clients faced, including domain names used in sophisticated phishing activities targeting vendors, domain names used in connection with websites selling competing goods and services, domain names that contain clever typos, such as substituting similar-looking characters, transposing characters, and adding and deleting characters, as well as domain names redirecting to pornographic websites and much more. So the digest also shows that the UDRP remains an incredibly effective tool for trademark owners, with more than 93% of decisions resulting in orders to transfer the disputed domain names. On the other hand, domain name disputes under the URS, or Uniform Rapid Suspension System, tell a different story during the third quarter of 2021. As I've talked about many times through the years, the URS has never proven to be a very popular domain name dispute policy, and it doesn't apply to .com domain names, which means that it's not an option in most cases. So the data from any single quarter is not necessarily very informative, but interestingly, The number of UDRP decisions was up 92% in the quarter. Granted, there were only 48 decisions in total, but the more fascinating number to me is the trademark owners won only about 75% of their URS cases. As I note in the digest, Dr. Seuss Enterprises, which has been among the more frequent filers of URS cases, actually lost 2 decisions for Lorax.shop and Lorax.blog. So turning back to the UDRP, I provide a list of the most active filers of complaints in the quarter, which included Facebook and its subsidiaries WhatsApp and Instagram, which were responsible for 4 of the 10 largest decisions, as well as the largest single case, which included 442 domain names. As usual, the top filers represent trademark owners across a variety of industries, including social media, tobacco, financial services, adult entertainment, apparel, pharmaceuticals, cryptocurrency, and much more. I think the important lesson there is that no trademark owner is immune from being a target of cyber squatters, and the UDRP works equally well for everyone, regardless of size or industry. But, as I write in the digest, trademark owners should never take the UDRP for granted. I always tell my clients that a UDRP complaint is not a simple process and should always be taken seriously. As I said in a recent UDRP case study video, one panelist scolded a trademark owner for filing a complaint that it said verges on spurious and wrote that it is generally not acceptable to file boilerplate complaints only containing conclusory arguments. If trademark owners keep this admonition in mind, the UDRP will continue to work well for them, and we'll see in the next issue of GigaLaw's Domain Dispute Digest just how effective it was for all of 2021. If you want to learn more about the UDRP and the URS, please check out my masterclass on domain name disputes, as well as other resources on my GigaLaw website. And be sure to subscribe to the GigaLaw YouTube channel to be notified of future videos discussing other internet legal issues. Thanks for watching, and see you next time online.